Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario.
And Dope Slater 930.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. I ate too much food. You already know about that.
Yeah, you got pizza problems.
Exactly. Yeah. No. For anybody wondering, I had pizza and it was really good, and I ate more than I thought, and now I'm just like I'm feeling it now. So I think we'll be good for this episode. But I'm just in that stage right now where I'm like, why did I eat all that food?
I think it's called a food coma.
It's not even. Well, I'm not tired. Is the thing.
Huh. Well, you know something funny? We've talked about pizza in like the last two episodes now.
Yeah, because every time we talk, we somehow bring pizza into the equation.
Maybe we're like undercover Ninja Turtles, dude. We don't even know it yet.
I think so. I would personally be okay with that because I mean I think I'd get used to the sewer smell.
I'd be Leonardo for sure.
I think I'd be. I don't know who I'd be actually. I'll have to get back to you on that.
You'd be Master Splinter.
Yeah. Yes. That'd be awesome. All right. Well, welcome to ModChat Plus episode 2. Now, Daniel, what is ModChat Plus?
ModChat Plus is basically where we talk about anything and everything we feel like talking about. It is an extension to ModChat, which is our main podcast where we talk about anything and everything modding, while this one is basically where you're going to get to know a little bit more about us. Sometimes we might have topics, other times we might just rant about things that are currently going on or whatever whatever we feel like talking about. But yeah, it's a way for you guys that want to get a little bit more out of our podcast than just the ModChat. And want to learn a little bit more about us and maybe laugh a little bit and hopefully not cry, but maybe. And yeah, just enjoy. Hopefully, hearing me and Mr. Mario conversate about random things of life.
Yep, and actually, Daniel, I don't know if it would be the best to bring this up right now, but I don't want it to affect the whole recording. Your mic is like popping a bit.
Is it my mic or your mic?
It's your mic.
You sure, dude?
Yeah, I think you're sounding okay right now, but like I swear I was hearing some popping.
Huh. I don't know. I hear a little bit of like clicking sounds in my ears, but it sounds like your end, dude.
Oh, I think it was something between the both of us.
Well, this is awkward.
Okay. Well, I think we're fine now. I think it's past whatever curse was there. Okay.
Well,
and second question, Dana, why is it that we've gone so long without doing another episode of ModChat Plus?
when was the first one? I feel like it's been a couple months now, right?
The first one we recorded the same day as episode 2.
Okay, so that's when we're on episode. What did we just upload? Episode 4?
Yep, upload episode 4, and this will go up probably after episode 5. I'm thinking.
Huh, dude, I don't know. Well, it's not like we haven't tried a few times. We definitely tried a few times to get another Mod Chat Plus in, but obviously, Mod Chat's our priority, and I don't know. We've been busy, dude. I've been working, you've been schooling, and I don't know. We just haven't
Exactly.
really.
That's the beauty with Mod Chat Plus, though. Like we'd even said from the beginning, it'll be a bonus to Mod Chat. Whoever likes that and they want to know more about us as the commentators, the hosts, and everything. And really, it's more one big reason why we don't really do Mod Chat Plus as often is because the first time we kind of went into it with a topic and everything, and Mod Chat, it's easy enough for us to do because we stick with one topic that we're passionate about, and we deviate a little bit and then we come back to it. And then Mod Chat Plus, we're always like, what should we talk about? So this time, even like the last time we were talking, like we've tried to record it a few times and then we were just busy, so I was more like, what, let's just do like a completely random episode where we talk about whatever the hell is on our mind.
Yeah, just well, like the thing is too, like we said originally with Mod Chat, is that Mod Chat, the OG one or the original or the main one, since this is Mod Chat Plus, is pretty laid back as is, but this one is just like super laid back. So I think that's obviously our number one priority, while this one is kind of just like like you said earlier, bonus. So yeah, I don't know. This one is going to be talking about randomness. I don't know. Mr. Mario has some things on the back burner he kind of wants to talk about, or what he's got going on.
Yep, I do. So should I start on with the first story?
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
All right. So get this. Now, Daniel, do you know anything about SQL? Or, well, when I say SQL, I'm talking about SQL, the language. But do you know anything about SQL injection?
I don't. The only thing I know about SQL is like is online databases when I do like a little bit of web design and web hosting, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now at the moment I'm in the middle of doing my senior project because thankfully I'm going to be graduating this coming December because I'm staying an extra semester. Now, what's going on right now with that is essentially we have been given a task or a program that we have to build to solve a problem from a company, and it's not even going to be used within their environment. It's just something that they're throwing at us just because it needs to be a senior design project. So essentially, we've had to do a ton of paperwork and a ton of all that other stuff, and it was really painful to get through. But we're at the final stretch right now. And literally, the last part of it is just coding. We need to finish up the program itself. We're doing it in VB, ASP.NET, and we're using SQL as well, and DB2 as our database architecture, which it's just DB2 is terrible. I'll just say that. There's a reason why nobody uses DB2 anymore. But essentially what ended up happening was today I ended up meeting up with my team, and it's funny because there's one guy, we're going to call him Sean, okay? That's not his real name, but I don't like using real names on
Yeah, for his safety.
Yeah. Now, I have another friend that I've shown on the channel whose name is Sean. This is not that guy. I will assure you of that. But anyways, what ended up happening was Sean and I were talking, and Sean is our main programmer on this because he is probably the best coder of the group. It's him and another people that are the two coders. So most of the project is now relying on them. And Sean admits that he is lazy. He is proud of being lazy. And I've never seen him work until now. And within the past, like, week and a half or so, he's just put so much work into this, and it's awesome to see. And he's doing a really good job with it, too. But it's kind of getting to the point where it's stressing him out a bit as well, because today we ended up meeting up, and we met in the computer lab, and then we start going over everything. So he gave us the code, the latest build that we had of the website, and he was saying, at first we were supposed to beta test everything and, essentially try and break it. So he ended up saying, guys, I'm going to have to rewrite a bunch of it, so just save code breaking for like Tuesday or something like that. And I asked him, one big thing that our teacher talked about with us several times is protect the database against SQL injection. Now, SQL injection, it's essentially like writing code in the username of a username password field. And essentially, if you are able to, I know there's going to be people listening who are much better coders than I am and probably even have some experience with SQL injection. And I'd highly recommend looking up a demo if you can. But essentially, you're like typing in there, the code, and you're almost manipulating the database and changing it to say, I am the administrator, this is my password, and you're almost overriding some of the code and tricking it so you're able to just jump in. Which, if you're able to do that, that's very, very dangerous. Like, pretty much saying you could go into, if you SQL inject properly, you can jump into an account as an administrator.
But how, I mean, I don't know too much about computer hacking per se, but I'm saying it's not, obviously it's not like a brute force type of attack. Is it just like guessing essentially until you get the username and password, or no, you're actually altering the code itself?
You're not literally changing the code, but it's almost like you're writing it in a way. Like, have you seen those like older game exploits and everything where essentially to do an exploit you have to trigger things a certain way because it pushes certain elements into the memory of a system, and then like all of that causes a big exploit to happen?
Like, I mean, essentially, what like a it's called like a hole, it creates a hole of some sort.
It's not even like a hole. Like, I think I need to show you this too, actually, because it's pretty fascinating. Like, somebody essentially had to do that with Super Mario Bros. How they beat it in like 4 or 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But essentially, what SQL injection is just you're typing in, like, for example, one thing would be like you would put, instead of putting a username, you put like, I'm just doing a really shitty example, like equals 1, and then put a single quote in there, which would recommend, the end of a little area there. So that will contain the data. And you essentially try and like push it to say, this is my username, like my username and password are true, and I have the password. And then you're just able to log into the database.
So these databases, though, could they be online databases, or no, they'd have to be local? That way you can actually alter them or mess with them.
Either or.
Oh, it could be on. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why SQL injection is actually a serious thing as well too, because it's advanced, but it's also simple. Like, you have to know what you're doing, but at the same time, you could just do blind SQL injection, where you're just trying out a bunch of different things and seeing where it can get you.
Huh. I definitely think that I need to watch a video on it or see like how it works, just to see like a visual of it. But I mean, it sounds pretty crazy. I mean, I obviously there's got to be. You said your job was to go in, do that, and then patch it, essentially, right?
Exactly. Like, I will actually copy and paste this. Like, this is kind of a basic one, but if you look in, let's see, if you look in your chat window right there, like, what I just typed in there, instead of typing in a username, I would like type in that. And that's essentially telling it, this is admin or like 1 equals 1, and then like it will let me get in.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's kind of iffy to explain, but you have to just like try it out yourself. Although try it in a controlled environment, because it is, if you do it to the wrong place, it's very, very illegal. But
Yeah.
what ended up happening was I asked my group mate, did you do anything secure to the database, or can you do SQL injection or anything like that? And he was just like, no, Danny, I haven't done it yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll see what I can do. And he wasn't really wanting me to try it, but, I was just sitting there. I wasn't doing anything. So this is what I did. I was looking up stuff about SQL injection and trying things. Within about 2 or 3 minutes, I was able to break into his database and get admin access.
Wait, like he had been trying to do that and couldn't, and you figured it out?
No. He had it. Like, we actually had, like, we have the usernames and passwords and everything that we need. But he has his own database set up, and I was trying to see if I could break into it.
And you were able to?
Yeah, so this is what happened, right? Like, the reason why I'm telling this story is just because, like, he ended up getting mad about it. Like, what happened was I was just like, hey, Sean, I got into the database. And he's like, Danny, I don't give a fuck. And like, he got mad, and I'm just like, why are you mad? Like, that was the thing, because it was more, this is something we have to do. And then I could tell he was getting, if he kept going on about it, I would have taken it offensively, but I could tell he was more stressed, if anything, because he did that, like, he said that. And then I was just like, well, we're supposed to secure it. And he's like, well, Danny, I really don't give a shit, okay? If you want to secure it, fine. Go ahead and secure it. Patch it. I don't care. I have enough on my plate right now. And I'm like, like, he's never, like, yelled at me like that or anything. So I'm like, damn, okay, I'm trying to help out the group by breaking into the database, and I pissed him off.
So losing his shit, man.
Yeah, he lost his shit about it, which that's the part that I found funny. Like, the SQL injection part, I mean, that was cool. But then when he, like, lost it about it, that's what I thought was funny. I'm just like, dude, like, I'm not doing this to, like, say you're a bad coder. I'm doing this because, like, I'm trying to prevent this from happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what ended up happening, like, for anybody who's trying this, essentially, or anybody who's trying to, like, code a database or log in or anything to prevent that from happening, one of the easiest ways you can do it is just say, don't make anything like alphanumeric only. Don't have any special characters or anything like that. So that's essentially what I did. I had to go in, and I had no idea really what I was doing, so it took me like an hour to do so. But essentially, a few lines of code later, I was able to patch it so that it was alphanumeric only, and then I tried breaking back into it, and anytime I tried to do anything, it just wouldn't let me do it.
That's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, no, that's what I told people. I'm just like, yeah, I was testing the database for us, and I broke into it and showed the coder, and he got pissed at me for breaking into it.
But the language that it uses is what?
It could be any language, really, but like we're doing, well, since it would be SQL, SQL injection, or that's it, yeah, SQL injection. I kind of like lost my train there. It would just be like in SQL language or anything like that.
Okay, and which is that language typically used just for like databasing type stuff, or no?
Yeah, I mean, there's different variants of database, but like DB2, Oracle, things like that. But yeah, mostly it's going to be the same. Got
you, huh? Yeah, it's interesting. What in your schooling is like the primary language you're messing with?
The thing is, we've jumped around with so many languages because in my degree, management information systems, at first, like, I went in and we were doing stuff on like the whole Office suite, which doesn't really count as a language, but we did a tiny bit of Visual Basic in there, and then we have an entire class that you need to take about Visual Basic. In the other class, though, like our intro business class, we also learned some XML, which
okay.
There's people who didn't even understand XML, and I just want to like knock them outside the head because like, no, it was like, it was like simple stuff, and it points out exactly where the error is, and they couldn't get it.
Wait, like the people in your classroom weren't able to understand simple things?
Yeah, like it was essentially like whenever they tried to load up this XML file, and if anybody thinks I'm sounding ignorant, like, no, it's literally, if I show you this file, it tells you exactly what line, what area, what is missing or wrong with it, and then you look at it, and XML is mostly, the simple XML we were working with was mostly English.
Oh my god, it's not even in a...
Yeah, so I was just like, I was looking at people, because it's like during tests, people weren't getting it, and I'm like, oh my god, you're missing out on like 10 points right now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Visual Basic is both like a GUI and coding, right?
Yeah, I mean, Visual Basic itself is coding. Like, any type of language is going to be base code, but like most of the time people code in Visual Basic using Visual Studio, which gives you a really easy GUI interface.
Got you. Because I remember my uncle when I was at one point, like I was actually really interested in coding before I just realized that I don't have the patience for it, and I need more. I need visuals as well. You know, I mean,
And I
guess
suck at
visual,
coding.
yeah, it's just wasn't my cup of tea to like do all the problem solving, all the mathematical if this then this and this or this. You know, it wasn't, I couldn't do it. And but I mean, originally he'd like got me a book on Visual Basic. I don't know which one it was, like 6 or something like that. I don't know, I don't remember. But I remember messing with it a little bit. But yeah, I never got too in depth with it. It sucks too because I've taken a Visual Basic. No, it wasn't Visual Basic. I don't know. I took a course in high school or two, and then I took a few in college. But it sucks because like I didn't take the classes seriously, and I can honestly say that I left like with not learning much of anything. The only things that I stuck with me were like I know a little bit of like HTML and CSS, which I mean it's been years now since I used it. It's everything lately website wise I've been using like WordPress, so it's not even, I mean, altering a little bit of code, web design code maybe, but it's not from scratch anymore, you know.
No, I gotcha. It's good to know, at least, like, reading a language and everything, for sure, but I think because see, the first time I was really exposed to code was, like, C++ and all that. That was in high school, but I even should have figured out back then. I didn't find a fascination with code. And then I went into computer science thinking it was code and other stuff. But a pro tip, anyone wanting to go into computer science, just because you're good at computers does not mean that that will help you out. That doesn't help you out at all.
In your class, you feel like it was all I mean, in your degree though, it's all been new stuff.
Well, like, what is it? Management information systems, like my current degree, it's been fine. Like, anything you can learn on the outside helps out, and you learn different types of languages and everything as you do in like computer science or anything. But there's so much other stuff, and there's a business orientation to it as well too. While as computer science, like, they try and push it onto you because a lot of people drop out of that major, so they try and push it onto you like, oh, if you're really good with computers, you'll be great in computer science. And it's like, no, actually, the only thing being good with computers and coding have in common is that you use a computer to code. Aside from that, I've met excellent coders who can't put in a stick of RAM properly, and I've met amazing, like, modders and PC builders and all that other stuff, and people who can troubleshoot like a beast, but they can't write a simple print statement in any language.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, hey, man, that's just what it is.
Yeah, there's like two sides to it. Not everyone knows both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would. I mean, again, like I'm the type of person where if I could, I'd like to learn almost everything there is to know about anything. I mean, obviously, time requires you to pick and choose what it is you want to learn and the order of importance. But I think it'd be badass just because I do so many like little hardware type things, especially like with this CNC machine I've been building right now. I wanted to. I had an issue with one of the. There's like basically it's a trouble or a safety feature where if the temperature drops below a certain amount or over a certain amount, then it's supposed to like lock up the machine. It's like preventing fire hazard, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, mine's a CNC machine and not a 3D printer. It doesn't have a heated bed, but it still uses the same board. The developer used the same board as a 3D printer, so there's a safety feature checked on, and I wanted to be able to go into the code and turn that that value off or delete it or bypass it, but because I'm not really sure how to, I couldn't do it. So instead, I had to go the hardware route and put a resistor on the spot where the thermistor was supposed to be, and so now it thinks that it's like at a certain temperature, so it doesn't go off anymore. But there's just times, especially where at least being able to read and alter the code would be nice. If you couldn't do it from scratch, it's useful. It's very useful.
Yeah, one of my friends, actually, he lives near me and everything. Time permitting and all that, we just haven't been able to get together and do this. But get this, this is the type of stuff I'm envious with. Okay, he ended up buying, because he wanted to collect all the Legend of Zelda games, so he bought a copy of Legend of Zelda Minish Cap for Game Boy Advance. Problem is, he bought a bootleg cartridge. Now, the thing is, there is one jump in the game that is impossible to make if you have a pirated copy of the game. So, if you have a pirated cartridge, you can't make that jump. If you have a legit cartridge, you can. So he ended up buying a legit cartridge, and he wanted to transfer over his save. The problem is then, he ended up downloading a program, and he borrowed my R4 at the time, because he had a DS Lite. So he borrowed my R4, he popped the game and the R4 with the program into his DS, and he was able to transfer the save from Minish Cap, the bootleg Minish Cap, to the R4, but it didn't work on the legit Minish Cap, because essentially the most basic way I can put it is, and if you see like the code diagram and everything, or like the hex code, it is literally, the code was pretty much backwards on the bootleg version for the save. So what he ended up doing was he ended up reversing the save, and then he created a program right there on the spot within like an hour or so. Like, he did all this within like 1 or 2 hours. But he ended up creating a program that would take a non-legit Game Boy Advance save and then end up retooling it and creating a legitimate save that then you can transfer over to your legitimate cartridge.
So it put it in the correct format.
Exactly. And I'm just like, shit, I would love to do stuff like that.
So you're saying the final software he made, basically you just get the file, and with a click of a button it would create like, or make it correct?
Exactly, but like nobody else had.
That's fucking badass.
And he even said he looked it up, nobody else had done it, so he did it.
That's so badass,
yeah.
Dude. It's just, yeah, that is awesome. But there's times where like you have a problem, you know what the solution needs to be, but you don't have the tools or the brain power to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? It sucks, dude.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me of, have you seen the Boondocks?
I don't think I have, man.
Oh man, it's you need to see it. It's on Netflix. It's such a good show, but essentially there was like one scene, it was in the last season, the granddad ended up seeing Siri on an iPhone, because like this one Siri was still pretty new at the time, and it was like the iPhone 5 or 5S, something like that. But he goes over to the Apple store and he's talking to like the genius people over there, and he's like, okay, I want the woman on the phone. And they're like, oh, you're talking about the iPhone. Oh, my eyes are old. I can't see that shit. I need something. Oh, I need that. Oh, well, that's the MacBook. But that doesn't... Well, does that have Siri? No, it doesn't have Siri. Siri's only on the iPhone. Well, okay, but I want the woman on the MacBook. Well, we can't do that. Well, I need something... But what if I have those two combined, but I could touch it? Whoa, you mean like the iPad? Yes, I want that. But that doesn't have Siri either, and it doesn't have a keyboard. And then he like goes off on a big rant, and he's like, no, it's simple. I want this woman in this big screen right here, and I want to be able to touch it. You all have those 3 different things, and you made them. Why can't you just combine them?
Got you. So he knows what he wants, but he just doesn't. I can't get it.
Exactly. And funny. I just loved it, because like, well, I was like thinking of that there, but at the same time, I'm just like, that was just the perfect rag on Apple.
That's awesome. But what is the show about? I've heard of it, I feel like, but I have no idea like what is the premise behind it.
In short, black anime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty much like, it's like black humor and everything.
I do know of it. I think my brother, someone I know was watching it, dude. I went over to my buddy's house, and it was like really like a lot of cussing and ghetto kind of, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I totally, I don't know who the fuck was watching it. I don't know, man, but someone I know was totally watching it, and I remember seeing like, what is it? I think it was my little brother.
The granddad is actually, he's John Witherspoon, the dad from Friday.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, they have some talent on that show, but yeah, I think it's because all the voicing is done over here, and then I want to say the animation is done in Korea, so it's an American black anime.
It's pretty. Is it multiple seasons?
Yeah, there's 4 seasons out right now.
Huh? No shit, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I warn you, if you start watching it though, you'll just start marathoning it.
You think so? Like I'll knock it all out because I want to see what happens next.
I'm saying that from experience.
You've seen all 4 seasons?
Yeah. I'm starting to rewatch them as well too.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of animes, like I was never a big like, well, other than like Pokemon, I guess, but like I never was like really big on animes until I was with my ex and she showed me a few of them, but I never finished Attack on Titan, dude. I'm really pissed off about that.
I feel like I'm gonna piss off people. I didn't like Attack on Titan.
Really?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't like
Is it
it.
because everyone liked it, or is it just because you
No,
genuinely didn't like it?
I genuinely didn't like it. Like I tried watching like 6, 7, 8 episodes, something like that, and I was just like, I'm not entertained by this show.
Damn. No, I thought it was crazy. I was watching it. I was like, holy shit! Like this is freaking intense, dude.
And see, I tried watching both. Like at first, I tried watching the Japanese version, which that one was okay. Like the first like 2 episodes, I was like, okay, these are cool. And then I end up watching the English version, and I watched the first like 7, 8 episodes in English, and I was like, I don't know. Like I'm not feeling this show for some reason.
Have you seen Wolf Children?
No, I haven't. I've heard very good things about that.
Fucking fantastic, dude. Like so good, so just like sad and like touchy feel. I mean, I was just sitting there. I remember because I bought it. She bought it when I was with her, and we watched it at my house. And I remember just sitting there, and I'm like, dude, this is an animated show, and like, why do I feel just so sad? Like, it is fantastic, dude. Like that is one thing where I definitely say if you are an anime fan, like you should probably go watch that movie, dude.
No, I need to check that out. There was, cause see, some of my favorite animes have been like there was Sword Art. That's one of my favorite anime, Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I've talked with friends about it, and one thing I hate is like a bunch of animes play to the American stereotype of why Americans think anime is like gross or weird or something. Because like even though I love Sword Art Online, it has some incest. It has, I guess you could say, it's not really. I wouldn't say furry stuff because it's all animated in there, like it's in the game and everything. But like another thing where it's like people get weirded out with tentacles, and then like at one point there's like tentacle monsters grabbing this chick and everything, and I'm like, no, you had to put those two in there. Why couldn't you just take them out?
Wait, people don't like tentacles?
Yeah, like people get weird, like because people think of hentai,
Oh, like that's anime porn, right?
like anime porn where it's like a chick getting like completely attacked in every single hole with like 30 tentacles.
Huh? I've never.
I like
Believe it or not.
I like how casual you are about this. You're just like, huh? I did not know about that.
Yeah, interesting. It just Google's it. No, I was trying to like kind of picture it, but I've never watched hentai, dude. Like I've heard so much about it, but I don't know why. I've seen like on websites where it shows like clips of it and stuff, and I'm just like, nah, I don't know, dude. I don't know, but. Yeah, I've never watched hentai, and there's like a huge following for it, is there not? Or like a lot of people that like
Yeah,
that shit.
there's people that watch it for the story.
No shit, dude. You're full of shit.
No, I'm kidding. Like I've talked with people who've said that. I'm just like, oh, okay, if that's what makes you happy.
Huh? That's strange, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't judge, but like, it's just it seems strange, but you know, different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Of course. That's why there's the internet, because there's like everything available.
True. This is true. Very, very, very true. Huh?
Yeah, no, but my honestly, I have to say probably my favorite anime, which I was surprised it topped it, and this was like quite a few years ago. I ended up liking this anime, and then it became my favorite, and then I kind of doubted it as my favorite, so I watched it a second time, and then it was definitely my favorite. But Elfen Lied, or it's pronounced like it's I guess typed out as Elfen Lied, Lied, but it's pronounced Elfen Lied in the show.
Huh? I've never heard of it or seen it.
That one's on Netflix as well. It's like 13 episodes, but it's pretty much about this chick who, it's about all these girls that are born with horns. And they also have these vectors, like these invisible vectors that surround them, which when you see them are pretty much tentacles. So we're getting into the tentacle thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they can like, they have violent tendencies, and they just like completely rip apart people limb from limb.
Huh? So they're bad people.
They're all, yeah, they're all killers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What's it called?
Elfen Lied.
Elfen Lied. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'd highly recommend checking that out. The only thing is, like, I remember the first episode I watched it, and it was just like literally half of it was like this chick who's just naked, just completely ripping apart people limb from limb. And I had it recommended to me by a friend, so I was like, why the hell was this recommended to me? And then I saw the second episode, and I was like, okay, this is actually getting really good. So I ended up watching it all in one day.
Oh shit! It's just one season.
Yeah, it's one season. It's like 13 episodes. That's normally how most animes are.
Which is nice. The way it's like a bite-sized thing, not I have to invest a month into it.
Exactly.
Huh? Yeah, I've watched The only ones I watched were the ones I listed, and then I watched one called like High School of the Dead or something like that.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
I watched that one, and then there was one that I started watching that I never finished, which I wish I did because I remember it was really good. But the only part I can remember right now is basically, I think it was about like a guy. Okay, this is gonna sound like the worst definition ever. So if you don't like have any idea what the fuck I'm talking about, totally fine. You probably won't. But I remember there was a guy that like went to this school, and there was like a girl that I want to say was dead, but he saw her or something like that. Oh God, dude. I just remember at the end of every episode there was like this commercial that played. It was like Dango, Dango.
Oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
What is it? What is it, dude?
Hold on. Clannad, Clannad, and Clannad After Story.
How do you spell it? Spell
Clannad.
ANN. Okay, because I want to finish that, and like I remember watching it, and it was really really good, dude. But we just never finished it.
Mm-hmm. Those are actually known as some of the better animes, like some of the best, but like some of the saddest at the same time. Clannad
Gotcha.
After Story specifically, because I've seen both of them. They're both like they're not my favorites, but they're both good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Clannad was good, and then Clannad After Story was really good. But like, it's just like by the end of it, you're just like, fuck, this is so sad. What? No, don't do that. And like, it just keeps getting sadder and sadder, and it's like, why the fuck is this so sad?
That's like one of the things I seem to notice that seems to be a trend with a lot of animes that I at least kind of looked at is a lot of the just like sad shit happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was now one thing I was going to ask you about actually was with High School of the Dead. How long ago did you see it?
Man, when I watched it, it was probably a year and a half plus, maybe.
Okay, because I was asking because like, see, I've seen it like once in full, and I thought it was like I liked it at the time. A lot of people don't like it because it was very fan servicey. So like just had like a ton of boobs and everything.
Oh
and
yeah,
a ton of
yeah.
upskirt shots. The thing
Yeah.
is, I saw it when I was like 18, like just out of high school. So I was like, oh, okay, this is relatable and like zombie apocalypse is actually pretty cool. But if you watch it later, like when I tried watching a few years later, I just felt kind of dirty.
What's wrong with that, Mr. Mario?
Oh,
No.
I don't want to go into anime and come out feeling like filth.
Yeah, I'm a sick bastard. Yeah, I guess.
Now
I guess I can
spit
see
on
that.
me and call me scum.
Well, I will say this is that like she like the girl I was with at the time had told me like that it's kind of a dirty anime. So like going into it, I kind of knew that it was going to be a dirty anime, but I think she was just trying to like show me like different styles and different like things that are like in animes or whatever, because she said that a lot of times in like at least certain animes they are pretty like that in a sense where they show a lot of like not full nudity but just kind of like stuff like that where they're really pervy essentially.
Yeah. One thing, have you heard of Hetalia by chance?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. I feel like, with this anime talk, I feel like we're going to appease people, but there's also going to be, you're going to have the hardcore anime buffs that come in here and they're just going to completely rip us apart, which that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But, no, essentially, Dado, this is the most uncomfortable I have felt watching anime, okay? So, two of my best friends, one of them, she was completely obsessed with Hetalia, and she absolutely loved it. And I'm going to explain it. It sounds like the coolest thing ever. Essentially, they're 5-minute episodes, and it's all of the countries of the world personified. So America eats hamburgers all the time and always eats with his mouth full and tries to be the boss of everyone. And he has a best friend who's an alien who escaped from Area 51 who cusses all the time and smokes pot. He has a twin brother named Kanda who everyone ignores. And then they have Italy, who's really just like lighthearted and like fruity and all that stuff, and Japan is like super serious and samurai type and all that stuff. So like it's every single stereotypical nation just personified,
In 5 minutes for each country.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, or they like go through things together and all that, and it sounds really cool. So my friend was telling me about it, and she's like, we need to see. I was like, yeah, that sounds okay, because at the time I didn't watch anime. Like I used to watch it when I was younger, and then for quite a few years I didn't watch it, and then I didn't start watching it until college. But what ended up happening was then one of my other best friends, who I trust his opinion for anime, like he knows his stuff, and also he, like, if he tells me something is good, he hasn't stirred me wrong before, and pretty much every single recommendation he's given me and the opinions on it, I match with him pretty well. So I trust his opinion. But he was telling me about it. He got all excited about it too when he was talking with her, and they were talking about it a bunch. So I felt kind of left out, and I'm like, this sounds really good. And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, Danny, if you want to, like, you could actually just watch this as opposed to taking like a world history class, and it helps out pretty well because it's like educational too at the same time. So it sounds like a total win, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, it sounds pretty solid to me.
Yeah, so my friend comes over, and she brings over her DVDs, and she's like, we're going to watch all these. And I was like, okay, cool. And she pops one into my Xbox, and we hit play, and I sat there, and for about an hour, I felt so uncomfortable, because the one thing that they neglected to tell me was that all the characters were gay for each other.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and like I have nothing against gay people. Like if you do whatever it is, it's cool. Because like I have friends who are gay, I have friends who are lesbian, who are bisexual, pansexual. All types of different orientations. Like I completely respect that. I myself am straight, and I can't sympathize with a gay person honestly at all because like I've just never known to like a guy in a sexual way or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it was. I don't want to say it was super close to gay porn because it wasn't, but they're just like all like touchy on each other and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm just feeling really uncomfortable. And then my friend could even tell, she's like, Danny, I really want you to like this, and I was like, I'll be honest, if I was gay, I would love this, but like, I'm just really uncomfortable right now.
Well, I feel like probably the same would go for like if it was a gay person watching like a straight type thing like that, maybe.
The weird thing is that happens all the time, and it's not like that. Because I know plenty of gay people who like love anime and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true too. Because I mean, in most like movies and stuff are like when they show romantic scenes and stuff, they are straight couples. So it's not like every time a gay person sees one, they're like, oh, we can't watch that movie. So I guess that's not accurate. I don't know.
Exactly. But... yeah, and someone's going to call me a homophobe in the comment section. If that's what makes you feel better, okay, cool.
I don't know. I don't think that makes you a homophobe, man.
Well, thank you.
I feel like that's a pretty standard or like normal reaction, in my mind, I guess. But I'm probably gonna get called a homophobe as well. So
yeah, like ModChat's full of a bunch of homophobes. I'm gonna unsubscribe.
Yeah, everyone just wants a reason to unsubscribe. I feel like
Exactly.
Give me a reason, I dare you. And I'm like, all right, that's a trip. She didn't. Did she know beforehand that it was like that?
Yeah, she knew.
Why didn't she didn't tell you?
She didn't tell me, and then I told my other best friend, and he was like, "Oh yeah, dang, I forgot to tell you. Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of it." And I was like, "So why were you talking about it a bunch?" He was like, "Well, I thought it was interesting, but I just didn't like it that much." And I'm like, "Oh my god, so you led me astray too? Thank you."
Yeah, you broke our trust. That's funny, dude.
Yeah, man.
This was like what, a couple years ago?
Yeah, this was about 4 years ago.
Okay, so yeah, right after high school or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's funny, dude.
Yeah, man.
Is it question? Yu-Gi-Oh, is that considered anime?
It is.
Okay, so I watched Yu-Gi-Oh a lot growing up too. Oh, not a lot, but a decent amount. So Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon for sure. I don't know. Those are like the main ones. I actually, dude, when they brought Pokemon to Netflix, last year I think it was, I was pretty excited. I watched God, I watched a lot, dude. I watched a ton of seasons. Like every day when I'd run on the treadmill, whatever, I'd watch it, and then I'd watch like one or two after. But I will say this, that I didn't finish it, and as like sad as this makes me, as much as I do, like Pokemon is always gonna like have an awesome place in my heart because it was just such a big part of my childhood. But I did not nearly enjoy it as much as I did when I was a child, man. It was just so fucking repetitive. Like, Team Rocket's damn song, which I used to think was so catchy, like, after hearing it every episode for, like, a couple seasons, I was just like, holy shit, I get it, Like, I don't know, man. I just got really, like...
And see, the big thing you have to realize is, as a child, you probably watched it once or twice a week.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't back to back to back to back like that,
Yeah, but when you were a child, you would have been like, oh, I would kill someone to watch it back to back to back to back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, it was fun, like, for a while, though, too, because, I mean, even the end of it, like, the Poke rap, I'd, like, I'd sing the rap song along and stuff, too. I totally forgot about that. And then, like, every commercial break, like, who's that Pokemon?
Have you seen, like, this is just one of the dumbest videos ever, but have you seen the one where it's that one kid who he's recording his TV, and it's just like, who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu! and then it ends up being coughing, and when it says it, it's just like, oh god damn it, ah!
I
Have you seen
haven't.
that?
It sounds awesome.
Oh
though.
my god, it's just like it's just a video. It's called "Who's That Pokemon?" and it has millions and millions of views. But it's just like such a shitty video, but so great at the same time.
That's freaking hilarious, dude. Oh, by the way, I showed my brother that man yelling at cat video. Oh, he hadn't seen it before, dude. And like, he had a really shitty day that day. He came up from work, he was all pissed off and stuff. And so I was like trying to put on funny shit. And I remembered that video, so I put it on. And as much as like as sad as he was, I definitely got some pretty serious laughs out of him during that video, dude.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was just so like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Don't fucking go in my closet!
Run! Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it's pretty.
For anyone wondering, it's a video. You could look this up as well too. It's called, what was it? I think it was just like man yelling at cats.
I might have it actually. Hold on, let me see if I still have the tab.
I'm pretty sure it's just called man yelling at cats. That's
Yeah,
a pretty
that
old
sounds
video
right.
as well. Or guy yelling at cats. One of the two. You'll find it as well. It's just like a 2-minute video of a guy screaming at cats.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you just type in yelling at cats or like anything along those lines, since it's such a big video, it'll pop up.
Oh
But yeah, that shit was hilarious. Yeah, it's called Some Guy Yells at Some Cats. That's what it's called.
Back in like 9th grade, I showed that to some friends, and they hated me for like a week because they're just like, "No, we love cats," and there was nothing funny about that video. It was just a guy screaming at his poor cats, and I was like, "I thought it was funny."
I love my cats, but I mean that's funny, dude. And actually, I'm looking at that video, and in the description it says "not me, not me, not me." Just so everyone sends me emails. So the original, I don't know if it got taken down or if it has a different title, but this isn't the original. It's already at 6 million views. So I would imagine the original, if it's still up, it's got to be at like. I mean,
I honestly don't even think the original was uploaded to YouTube. I think it was probably just because before YouTube,
gotcha.
people would just upload to like random sites.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What was before YouTube? Like, was it Vimeo or no? Vimeo was after.
Dude, Vimeo was after. No, like before YouTube, you just had to like go to sites, and like people would have to run their site and pay for storage space, and then like upload videos on there, and you would download the videos from there. Like you had to download everything, man.
God, it sounds such a like so foreign, you know, or like such a like a dinosaur of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, I remember using search engines that weren't Google.
I used to use one called Big Mama.
I've never even heard of that.
There was one called. It might even actually. Let me see if it's still up. I kind of want.
Yahoo was the big one in my house.
Big Mama. Was it called Big Mama search engine or? It might not be Big Mama. Is it Yo Mama? There's one called Mama. It's. I don't know. It might not be up anymore. But I feel like. Was it a proxy server actually? Because I looked it up for. I don't know. There was a bunch of them. There was one like called Crab search engine. And it had a picture of a crab. Like I remember in my computer class in like I think it was like 6th grade or something like that. They blocked all the big like arcade gaming flash game
like
websites.
Miniclip and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I discovered proxies and like show all the kids in the classroom and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it loaded a hell of a lot slower, but still it was like back then as a kid it was just so cool to be able to like look up whatever I wanted to look up and check. I don't think I had social media back then. I was too young, but it was pretty. Well, no, maybe I had MySpace. I don't know, but it was cool, like doing something as a kid, like feeling like, oh, look at him bypassing the security or whatever,
Dude, I remember like I was like the odd kid in elementary school because see like our school it didn't have like I didn't look at anything bad, but like our school didn't have a firewall or anything like that, or like a website block or anything. So I remember like I was going to like for example Final Fantasy VII Advent Children was coming out, so I was like going to like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts like fan sites and all that would take me to like all these like Japanese sites that had hosted a video of a really shitty theater recording of the exclusive trailer that was in Japanese of Advent Children, and like that's the stuff I was looking up, and all these kids were like, I just want to play my Flash games.
Oh my god, that's funny, dude. Yeah, my school. Well, the thing is, my elementary school is a private school. I think that's why they had to enforce it so heavily.
Gotcha.
That's the reason why. But yeah, dude. I mean, it's crazy how much even in our lives, technology, the internet's changed. Because I mean, I to me, it doesn't even feel like that long ago where I had to have my mom unplug the phone to plug in my wired connection so that way I can get on AOL, sign in. And did you ever have an AIM account back then?
No, I never had AIM actually. I had Yahoo Messenger and MSN. Those were the big ones. MSN was the huge one at my school, and that was like elementary and middle school.
Okay, yeah, it was my brother's babysitter who, I guess technically should be my babysitter too, but I was old enough to be on my own. But my
Was
parents
she the
didn't-
hot one?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, she was, and so like she was just like the most badass thing ever. And I remember she's the one that showed me. She showed me AIM, and she like showed me like how there was like chat rooms and stuff like that. And then I remember one time, dude, she had left her AIM signed on, and I was such a creeper. I went on her AIM and like was talking to somebody, right? I was talking to one of her friends, like acting as if I was her, and then after just like a few messages. I guess like obviously my lingo wasn't the same as hers was. Someone was like, "Who is this?" And then I just signed off and like never did it again and acted like it didn't happen. But I remember like freaking out. He's like, "Oh my god, they know it's not her." Like, what do I do? I don't even know why. No, honestly, like why in the hell I would have done that, But I mean, shit. I go back in my mind, 11 years ago. I don't know what I was
No,
thinking.
I got
but...
you. One of my friends actually, I'm not going to say who it is, but and I don't even put names out. But he was telling me like an entertaining story. He said that when he was younger, he had actually modified a radio to the point where he was able to listen in to conversations on his family phone. So one of his sisters had a friend who was really hot that he was crushing on, and she was like 6 or 7 years older than him, and he was a kid, so there was no way she was in hindsight now, there's no way she's gonna go after him because that would just be creepy.
Yeah.
But he said that he would always like in his like little kid mind, he would like whenever his sister was on the phone, he would like turn on the radio in his room and start listening in to see if like there was any faint glimmer of her friend possibly mentioning him at all.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah, and like back then, it's like that sounds amazing, and then you look back and it's like, no, I was like 8 and she was 16. There's no way.
Did you ever do this when you were in high school or middle school? I would have like a friend, like I had this girlfriend, not like girlfriend, but a friend that was a girl, and I liked one of her friends, and I was cool with her, and she was telling me like, oh, this girl really likes you, and I was like, no, I don't think so. And then we like conference called her, and she asked her while I was on the line, like covering the mouthpiece. Did you ever do shit like that or no?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, a
I
lot
love
of people
shit,
did that.
dude. I mean, now it says though, most phones will say conference, so you'll know like you're not, getting 2-way or 3-way or whatever. That sounds sexual, but
Well, I mean, shit, you do everything through like VoIP now, like Skype and all that.
yeah. So like, there's it'd be much harder to actually get away with that. But I just remember back then, like, or like this person said that, and I mean, it's just funny all the shit that we did, which now kids won't really experience, and kids won't have to deal. I mean, dude, like, do you know how nice of a luxury it is to be able to use a phone and go on the internet at the same fucking time, dude?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, I remember I would always kick. This is like 1999, 2000. I was kicking my parents off the phone because my mom liked to talk on the phone for a while. I would kick them off so I could get stuff off Napster.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, dial-up. When do you remember when like cable and satellite really came into the ballgame, and like when it?
We were some of the early adopters of broadband, but we got our broadband in 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got it earlier than other people because that's when it was still quite expensive. I don't know how much because I was a kid at the time. I was like 7, but like I just remember we got it very early on.
Okay, because I know like we definitely weren't one of the first to get it. I'm trying to remember. I know we went from whatever we had to charter, and we've had charter up until now, but I remember it. I was definitely like later on because everyone I knew had like better internet. And I remember me with my my family's always been like that, dude. Like just late. Not me now, obviously, since I make my own money and I like I'm a tech fanatic, if you will. But back then, dude, when I didn't have money and stuff like that, oh my god, my parents couldn't give two shits about having the latest greatest stuff, man. I had like a brick phone for the longest time when I got my first cell phone. I remember it was black and white from Sprint, dude, and it was just like it had like the pull out, top piece or whatever for the antenna, and dude, it can only store like 20 contacts.
But dude, you know what the best thing was about those phones?
Indestructible?
Not only that, but like you could use that phone and not charge it for like 6 days.
Oh yeah. Oh, the battery life was stupid, dude.
Yeah, like it was funny because like recently, kind of a friend of mine was asking me. They were just like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a new phone. Like, I want good battery life. What do you recommend?" And I like half jokingly said this, but I was like, "You should just get a feature phone." And they're laughing. I'm like, "No, like straight up, don't get a smartphone." Like now, there's other smartphones. Like for example, like the Z3 Compact has insanely good battery life, and several others do. But like, if you really want good battery life with with a cell phone, not just a smartphone, you need to get a feature phone. Those things you can leave them on for like a week, and it will still have like 10% battery.
Feature phone meaning it's just what, calls and text, right?
Calls, texts, and some like play apps and everything. Because a
Gotcha.
basic cell phone was only calls and maybe text. Then feature phones had some more stuff, and then smartphones.
Dude, I got a super quick random thing that I just thought of and remembered. It
Uh-huh.
was about me getting in a shitload of trouble when I was in the sixth grade. I got my first cell phone. It was a Motorola. Basically had the same interface as a Razr, but it was before the Razr, so it wasn't skinny. It was just like a regular flip phone. And
Yeah.
my dad, gave it to me, and it was all limited and stuff like that. Well, me, I went to the web store or whatever, and in 1 month, dude, I downloaded I think like Jesus, oh man, 30, 40 games or something like that. And
Oh.
I would download the game, I would use the game, then I would delete the game. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, I don't have it though, so like I can't get in trouble or like it can't do anything. And then
Uh-huh.
I remember my dad, dude, one morning came and ripped me out of class, and it was like my first period class or second period class. It might not have been sixth grade, was it like I don't know, but it was sixth, seventh grade.
He put you
And
out of school? That's bad.
oh yeah, he pulled me out of school.
He didn't
It was
even
like,
want to wait.
oh no, my dad doesn't. That's my dad, dude. Like if something goes down, like it needs to be settled. Like he'll freak out, and so he pulls me out
No,
of
dude,
class.
my parents, I'll just say this real quick, sorry, but like my parents, if they had something to tell me, they would tell me in the car ride where I couldn't escape.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're
no,
not about to get out of a car.
no, my dad just knows like that. He's like, you can't run from me. Like, but anyway, he pulled me out of class, and remember him questioning me about it. And at first, I played stupid, like I'd always do when I got in trouble. It's like, no, I don't know, I don't know. And the bill, dude, was like $300 or something like that. It was something stupid, and God, he was furious. And then I explained to him, I was like, yeah, I downloaded a few games and I deleted them, because I don't know, dude. I totally tried weaseling my way out of it, but obviously there was no way I could have. And let's just say that year, I think my dad was able to get T-Mobile to reverse a lot of the charges, explaining the situation that I was a dumbass. But I didn't get much of a birthday. It was close to my birthday, and that was pretty much everything for my birthday, like whatever the leftover was. So I learned the hard way that there's no such thing as free, and you can't download and delete shit and expect it. Because, dude, for me, like technology back then didn't make sense. I was still a kid, and I didn't really had like the internet was still pretty new to me, and so
Yeah.
in my mind, it just made sense that maybe if I deleted it, they couldn't trace it, and like it wouldn't be able to charge me because I don't have it. But that's not the way it works, obviously,
Mhm. No, I
But
gotcha, man.
it was definitely a interesting thing. I remember I was pretty fucking scared, dude.
Mhm. No, I believe it. That's hilarious, though.
Yeah, it was just like never again. So my dad like called up T-Mobile and made them put a block on the App Store or whatever, so I couldn't even access it after that point.
Hmm. I remember, dude, it's funny because, like, me being me, I've always been the tech guy, right? But when it came to phones, now that, like, as you said, like, I'm making my own money and everything, now it's different. But, like, I was the last one out of my friend group to have a smartphone. Even more embarrassing, I was probably one of the last people in my school to get texting on a phone.
No shit, dude.
Yeah, like that killed me, especially like because for a while, like my dad just like rationalized it. He's like, no, if you need to talk to someone, you just call them. And also, I use like chat services and all that other stuff. So like like instant message services.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening, I remember, was it was specifically like I'll be straight up, dude. It was girls. That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to get texting because it got to the point I didn't have texting until my junior year because I remember that's when I was working on. So I was 16 at the time. And I remember it got to the point, like, I had, all of a sudden, like, after my first job, it was just easier for me to talk to women and all that stuff. Well, girls at the time, because, this is high school. But
Yeah.
I had a lot of girls' numbers, and they were all pretty cute girls and all that, too. And what are you trying to do? You're trying to mac on them, all that stuff, trying to talk to them. Girls didn't want to talk. They wanted to text. That was the thing. So I also, because a year or two prior to this, my friends would always spam me with text messages just for giggles, and we got
Yeah.
charged for every single one. And my parents kept getting mad at me, so I ended up flipping the table. I got mad at them after a few months, and I was like, you know what, guys? You don't pay for texting. I don't text anyone. Friends are texting me. If this is such a big problem, block texting on all the lines.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. But what ended up happening was I would have to explain to people, I can't get text messages, I can't send them. But then they would forget, and then I'd have to explain it again and all this stuff. But I was missing out on a lot of conversations. So what ended up happening was, I remember I told my dad, I was just like, Dad, listen, can you unblock texting on my line, get me unlimited texting only for my line, and I'll pay you every single month. Like, flat, straight up out of my pocket, because that's when I was, like, actually working for the first time then. And he was just like, okay, sure, we'll think about it. And I was like, oh, what the hell is there to think about?
Yeah.
And I want to say like a week later, he ended up calling me And it was around Christmas time. I want to say it was like Christmas Eve or something. He's like, "Hey, Danny, you have unlimited texting. Merry Christmas." And I was like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I got other Christmas presents as well, too, but I flipped out because I was like, I'll pay you guys back. He's like, no, it's fine. That's a Christmas present. We'll just keep it on there. So then I was actually able to text people and everything. And I remember I was with my manager at the time. And after I got off the phone with my dad, I texted him. And he's on his phone. And he checks it. And he just flips out. He's like, "Oh my God, Danny, you got texting!"
Where'd you work at, if you don't mind me asking? Your first
Oh,
job?
it was a game store.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely know that. It's funny. You're lucky that you got straight and unlimited because I got texting not that late, but I got numbered texting, and I ran out so fucking quick, dude. And after that, they charged her. It was blocked, and then I remember, so I'd have to like strategically text like whoever I wanted to text, and I'd have to because like the way it worked is that I would get the text, but once I open the text, that's when it would charge me. So like it would be a little envelope.
So you screened a bunch of texts, I'm sure.
Yeah, if it was from my mom and dad, and I saw I got a text from them, I would just call them, and be like, "What do you want?" You know. And I just remember, dude, it was sucky. Like same with me when I was like trying to text like a girl from school or something like that. I would just have to make sure that my text was like fucking long as shit. Like I'd use every character possible, you know, if to max out the text because. Oh my God, dude! Like I remember getting unlimited text was just like a heaven sent, dude. It was the most amazing thing ever, and I have to freak out and like count my text and run out by like this, 5th day of the month or something like that.
I remember it was funny because then my dad, he even looked at my statistics. He's like, "Danny, you went overboard with texting." I was like, "Wait a minute, no, you got unlimited." He's like, "Okay, Danny, well, I'm joking, but like you sent like 400 text messages the first day you got it," and I was like, "Well." Yeah. Dad, what do you expect? I have a bunch of girls that I'm talking to, and I never got texting before.
Yeah, they're like excited. Like this is like a whole new world, you know?
Exactly. I'm like, oh my God, I could talk to people. Because I straight up, it was funny because like I literally told my parents, like you know in cartoons and all that where kids will be all like their kids will tell their parents, they'll be like, no, everybody in school has this, and the parents are like, no, not everyone in school has it. No, like I literally put that on my parents. I said, guys, I'm not kidding. Every single person, because I didn't have a smartphone at the time, but I had a nicer phone than, many other people, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I was like, people who have $5 phones have texting. I am literally probably like in the 1%, maybe even less than that of students who do not have texting on their phone.
That sucks. Oh, your phone wasn't even capable, or no, it was?
It was, but it was blocked.
Got you.
Yeah, and then I was one of the last people as well, too, to get a smartphone and all that. So then when I got that, like, oh, that was a whole nother thing.
One thing I will say about texting, though, is there's been quite a few times in my life where texting has gotten me in trouble in terms of, like, my parents searching my phone or, like, me sending the wrong shit to the wrong person or, I mean, there's just been times, dude, where, like, it's bit me in the ass, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. No,
and, like,
I got you.
Well, one thing about texting, too, is, like, it's the fact that you can't really express the tone in your voice and it's just text. And, like, sometimes someone will say something that, I'll take it a certain way. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And then, like, I'll ask them about it and they'll explain it to me. I'm like, oh, yeah, no shit. Like, but just because of the words that they used, I'm like, is this person being a dickhead right now? Or, like, what's going on here?
Or people will, like, reread it, like, read a text a certain way or misread it or try and reread it a few times, read further into it, anything like that.
Yeah,
you're like, we're like, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know, it probably means what it says. Like, are you sure though? Like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Just so much shit, dude. Like, it's funny how, like, again, texting nowadays is like an obvious thing. Like, if you don't have texting, then I mean, I don't know, you're I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I mean, thankfully now it's actually it's funny. Even one of my friends who was just a complete cheapskate, how the hell do you say that? He was very cheap, is what I'm trying to say. He had a smartphone, but he had the smallest possible data plan on it. And he had, like, the smallest minutes plan, so he did most of his stuff over VoIP, Wi-Fi, and he even did his texting over Wi-Fi because he had a Google Voice number, and he texted through that. But even recently, now he's, made more money and everything, but even recently, he himself has succumbed to, actually putting a proper text messaging plan on his phone.
Yeah, he finally caved in.
Yeah, so he's probably literally the last person I know that just got texting, but he was texting prior to that. He was just using Google Voice because it was free.
It's funny, dude, because excuse me, yawning here, but it's funny because I actually, like, if T-Mobile, like, my service provider would have a plan right now where we'd save money if I went down to 500 texts, I could easily make 500 texts last my whole month, dude. Mm-hmm. I don't text very much anymore. It's like,
dude, because you're not a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if anything, I text my mom like, "What's for dinner?" Or, like my brother, "When are you coming home?" or something like that. But I'm not having like full blown conversations with people through texting anymore. I just don't like. I mean, on an occasion maybe, but no. Otherwise, it's like meet me in person, call me, or like
Yeah.
fucking I don't know, like Facebook messaging or whatever. Some kind of conversation like that. But yeah, to fully text someone a lot, dude. Dude, I hate. I don't. I'm not a fan of texting
Yeah,
anymore at all.
even
We talked
honestly,
about
like
this.
I'm looking through my phone right now while we're talking, and probably like in April, like, like this past month, I probably sent like less than 200 text messages, and maybe even like received, or less than 300, something like that. And then, honestly, the person I talk to, like the most with my phone and everything is probably my girlfriend, but we end up using another app for that. We don't even use a texting app or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like Kick, or you've got, I don't know. Like I said, Facebook Messenger. You've got Skype on your phone now, so it's just like, I don't know. Texting's just not nearly. Again, I feel like if I were to,
Texting is getting old. It's so weird.
yeah, dude, it's not even the thing. But I'm pretty sure, dude, if like all of a sudden I was 15 again, like you said, back in high school, I'd be texting because you're like we talked about this today, but like you're sitting in class, you're bored, you've got a girlfriend or you've got friends in their classes, and you're just hey, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. I'm so bored. You try to entertain each other.
Oh,
And stuff
dude,
like
texting
that,
chicks all day. That's what I was doing in high school.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, you're macking. It's like, now I'm just like, dude, I don't have time to fucking text. What are you talking about?
yeah, I don't exactly. It's like now I actually got shit to do because this is my time.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Well,
even so, even if you do have free time, like, even if you have a bunch of free time, it's like, shit, like, texting takes time as well, too.
Yeah, because then like you text, then they text back, and you text, and they text back, and you've got multiple texts going on. It's like fuck. Now I got 5 messages that just came in. It's just like a web, dude. It's a web.
Mhm. Exactly.
So I'm just gonna stop it before it starts. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's one reason why, actually, that's one reason why I stopped using Snapchat, because like I used it, this is actually before we started talking and all that, but like I used it for a bit, and then it got to the point where people kept sending me a bunch of snaps, and then they would get upset when I wasn't responding back, or when I would respond, people were trying to have full conversations through Snapchat, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. You send me a text if you want to have a full conversation, or you call me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I used Snapchat for a bit. Like, well, when I was with my ex, we'd Snapchat here and there and stuff like that. Just like stuff we're doing throughout the day because it's more, I don't know, more instant and doesn't take up memory in your phone like text message would or MMS.
Yeah.
MMS. Um, but now, I mean, what the hell was? I only use it every once in a while for like my story or whatever, and that's rare too. But I don't know why. Sometimes I'll do that just to like post it. But yeah, I don't do individual sending people snaps and stuff like that anymore.
I'll be straight up. I don't have ADD or ADHD, but I got the feeling of like ADD when I had Snapchat, because I constantly had it going off, and there were always like 5, 6 different people snapping me, and I was just like, no, this is getting annoying now. Just stop.
Yeah, like
Because
this sucks.
if I remove them or block them, those are people I know personally that I'm friends with. I'm being a dick for that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to remove the whole application.
It feels like a job at that point.
Exactly.
Got to check in, got to respond. But yeah, I don't know. It's honestly like one of the main things I've been using Snapchat for lately is to check out. They have those stories for like the different countries.
Yeah.
That's badass to me. Like my mom, like when they did Stockholm for Sweden, I was like really stoked because of all the shit from Sweden and whatnot. And like it's just cool seeing countries that like from like the actual citizens and the people's views. Like what they see and stuff like that. Like I think that's pretty badass. So like that I'm a huge fan of. But other than that, dude, like to me, Snapchat when I first heard of it, I was like, yeah, that's just like a thing you use to send nudies to people.
Yeah, that even one of my best friends, he busted out laughing because what happened was he was dating a chick at the time, and he's just like, Danny, do you have Snapchat? And I said no. He's like, oh, dude, it's the coolest thing. I was like, how many nudes have you gotten? And he just busts out laughing. He's like, I like how that's the first thing you ask, and because at the time, like, I just heard the only thing I heard about Snapchat was that it was just a bunch of like underage kids sexting each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'd heard too. And then they started adding the like third party apps where you can like save them and stuff. And I'm like, this the whole thing just became trouble,
Yeah. No, I gotcha. I don't know. Thankfully, because see, I always kept that in thought as well too. So like, I never sent anything like incriminating or anything like that.
Yeah.
But no, like even another thing that just creeps me out and kind of irks me at the same time is like, there's friends I hang out with who are always on Snapchat, and when we hang out, they're snapping everything, and it's just like, I'm like, fuck, can you just get off that app for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, we've got a friend that does that too. My brother's chick actually, she does it a ton. Like
It's annoying, isn't it?
It's pretty annoying, dude. It's like, well, to me, like, it's not any worse though than I don't have very many friends again like this anymore because I'm older. But when I was in high school, where you're like doing stuff, and the whole time you're like talking to someone, the whole time you're hanging out, they're just fucking texting, and it's like you're not even present in this moment, dude. Like, what are you doing to go home? Like, why are you here?
You're now trying to create a moment rather than live a moment. But
which is bullshit.
Yeah, we had talked about that in one of my classes as well, quite a bunch, which is just fascinating. But no, like one of my friends, for example, she came over here for like 5 minutes, and while we were talking, she was just like on Snapchat and kept snapping things, and it's just like. Fuck, first off, I don't know who you're snapping. Maybe I don't want everyone seeing my apartment. And second, it's like, you're at my apartment. We're talking. We're not doing anything entertaining.
Yeah.
Who is entertained by this?
It's like it's Twitter too. This girl would always post like, on my way to work, sitting at work, going home from work. I'm just like, no one gives a shit.
I don't mind Twitter as much because that's what Twitter was designed for. Facebook, it's annoying when that's done, when it's done on there.
But like on Twitter, like I could see if you're actually doing something of importance or like something. But like when it's the same people like posting like taking a dump, wiping my dump, flushing my dump. I'm just like, we get it. Like give us like a little pause in between or something,
See,
I don't know.
Now occasionally I'll do that to friends, but that's like me texting them or something.
Yeah, well, I could see again like with Twitter too. I guess like you said, it's a little bit more acceptable because it is just a little snippet of text, so it's like it's not as annoying as Snapchat where it's a full video or it's a full video that could be up to 9-10 seconds. But
yeah,
I still like sometimes there's even people on Twitter sometimes I follow them. I'm just like getting super annoyed. Like I kind of feel bad at times too because every video I like and shit like gets posted on Twitter and I'm like sometimes I can see how this is like really annoying for people. But then again, like in my mind I'm like it's fucking Twitter though, so they can just like skip right through it. It's not like it's this big old thing in their face.
Exactly. You can be very selective.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word.
Yep.
But
anyways, it's been a little over an hour, so we should probably wrap this up, but that just breezed by.
Yeah, it was funny how we kind of started off with your story and then got into anime and then got into like the history of internet and cell phones and stuff. But It's kind of fun. If you would have asked me a couple hours ago what we're gonna talk about, I wouldn't have said that. So.
Exactly. That's why. So anybody who's made it to the end of this, like, let us know if you've liked this, because if you guys have liked this, we're probably gonna stick with this type of setup for ModChat Plus.
Yeah, if you hated it, just like tell us too though, like just
exactly. Yeah, because the first one we went into it like kind of it was sort of ModChat, but it was also ModChat Plus. It was more laid back, but we had a basis for what we were doing. But this time we're just like, we have no idea what we're talking about, let's hit record.
Well, I think the cool thing is too though is that when we do it like this, even if we go into it and we don't like pre-plan before, like, okay, this is our topic for today, I still think that if we keep doing these ModChat Plus episodes, that each time like one of us will have like a story or something we kind of want to talk about that'll just like pop up, or like we'll think about it right beforehand,
So today I was on Snapchat and then I went to my friend's house and I snapped all of his like dogs and stuff, and that was pretty cool. I got like 3 followers.
Yeah. Cool story, bro.
Jesus. No, but I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like it won't be that hard for us to, like, even, like, with this I totally could have started ranting about this whole CNC shit, the whole experience of it, too. Like, there's just so many things that we could talk about since there's no rules, essentially, God, I almost had called it CNC Plus, but ModChat Plus. I don't know, I was looking at it and trying to think, but I couldn't, but... Yeah, I'm sitting here just sweating my ass off, man. I'm going to go outside.
It's all good. Yeah, it's probably time to wrap up then.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, hey, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, or listening.
And Dopes under 930, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you'll be tuning in for episode number 3.